So Business Insider did their own power ranking of the 2020 Democratic presidential nominee and where they think the candidates stand right now. So I want to take a look at this, and then also I want to compare it with the current polls to kind of show a bit of the difference after looking at the Business Insider's power rankings. So first we have John Delaney in 18th. Yeah, he's among those at 1% in morning consult polls. According to insider polling, he's known by about 20%. Makes sense. He really hasn't moved up in the polls at all. Had very little traction. Representative Tim Ryan of Ohio. I vaguely remember seeing him in the debates, but I honestly forgot he was running for president. So he has climbed to just 1% in morning consult in the past several months. Yeah, Ryan is our 17th ranking because despite qualifying for the first two debates, he's failed to generate much buzz amid. Right, so he's another one who hasn't qualified, just like Delaney. Marianne Williamson, I feel like she's a little bit low on the poll here, but let's see what reasons they give. Williamson raised 1.5 million in 2019's first quarter and earned the 65,000 individual donors required to make the first Democratic debates. Despite her low name recognition, blah blah blah, making her online sensation. Yeah. So she hasn't cracked the 1% in morning consult. I think she has one poll so far to qualify for like the October debate. So she might actually qualify if she gets, some good polls coming out. I think she needs three more at 2% to get into the October debate, but she isn't in the September one. Bill de Blasio, forgot he was running too. Entered the race on May 16th. Monmouth University poll, blah blah blah. What is he polling at? He's at 1%. I believe he also did not make the debate in September. So Steve Bullock of Montana, another guy I forgot was running. Bullock raised 1 million in the first 24 hours of his candidacy and has been able to attract some sizable crowds. He raised 1 million in his first 24 hours. That sounds like some big donors to me. Yeah, but he's at 1% and 0% in early states. So Michael Bennett, another guy I forgot he was. I remember like now looking at him, I'm like, oh yeah, he was on the debate stage, but forgot he was running. He's at 1%. Not much going on with Bennett. Tulsi Gabbard of Hawaii, so she's at 12th. I feel like they ranked her kind of low here. So she's at 1% in morning consult, but what about I believe she was like one poll away from making it in September, one or two polls away, and they like disqualified some of the poll. Like she's at 2% in like 4 or 5 polls, but the DNC disqualified some of the polls for some reason. I don't know. It's very strange. They really seem to not want to let her into the debates, but I feel like 12 is a little bit low. Yeah, like how's Tom Steyer listed above her? That doesn't make any sense. I feel like Tulsi Gabbard has a way better chance than Tom Steyer does. He's just a billionaire, spending a ton of money on online advertising. He has pledged to spend 100 million of his own money on this presidential race. Okay. We moved Steyer up from 14th to 11th place on August 16th after he reached the grassroots fundraising requirements and picked up 3 qualifying polls for the debate. Is he in the debate? Oh no, he also didn't make it in September, but he's trying to make it, so I guess he needs one more to make it in October. So yeah, having him above Tulsi Gabbard, I don't know, man, doesn't make any sense to me. So 10th, Beto O'Rourke. He's on the decline for sure. He had a little bit of a boost, but then the media kind of stopped pushing him super heavily. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, he couldn't beat Ted Cruz, so what makes him think he could beat Trump? I mean, I don't know, man. He has a pretty bad track record in running, and also, like, I don't really know what he's for, to be honest with you. Yeah. Is he even... I think he actually did make it into the debate, just barely, but he's kind of on the decline. Senator Amy Klobuchar, I forgot she was running, to be honest. I don't know why she's so high up in the polls. But I saw something that, like, she's actually pushed super heavily by mainstream media, so I think that's why she's actually doing somewhat okay in the polls. But even with that, she's still at like 1 to 2%. She's not doing that well. Julian Castro, same thing. He's being pushed a lot by mainstream media. Not much of an online presence. Yeah, Castro's made it as well. I believe basically everyone from here on out has made it in the debate. Um, in early September. I think it's September 12th or 13th. I forget what day it is. Mayor Pete Buttigieg of South Bend, Indiana. Mayor Pete is having a moment. Not really. It kind of dived down. Like he had a moment like a month ago or 2 months ago. He's been slowly, yeah, he's been slowly losing support. I mean, you know, I know Buttigieg. He would need like he's had a bunch of fundraising and he's not performing as well. Like dollars spent to poll percentage, he's actually doing worse than he used to do with less money. So he's kind of on the decline. But Andrew Yang. So I'm actually kind of surprised they put him above Pete Buttigieg in this Business Insider poll. But Andrew Yang he's probably right now has the best trending upward trajectory, and I think that's why they're actually putting him up here. So yeah, he's got 200,000 unique donors. He has a very strong online presence, definitely growing. Yeah, yep, online supporters known as the Yang Gang. Yeah, man. Yeah, he's climbing up the polls for sure. He's one of the few. He's one of the few candidates that's actually rising in the polls and raising more money, where everyone else is in the decline. And he's even listed it by Business Insider above Pete Buttigieg, which is pretty interesting. Now, Cory Booker. Honestly, I feel like Yang and Buttigieg should be above Cory Booker. I'm not sure why they listed him at fifth, but he did make it to the September debate. He has some good name recognition. He doesn't have much of an online presence. We moved Booker up to fifth place because he is in a good position to gain from Gillibrand's exit. Gillibrand was like at 0%. No one's gaining really anything from that. I mean, it's a very small boost, if anything. But I mean, hey, maybe he does amazing in the debate. Who knows? But I don't think he's gonna last much longer. Kamala Harris, she's also massively on the decline. She had a really good first debate performance. The second debate, she didn't do so well, and she's massively dropped off. She got a lot of funding after the first debate, but it's actually, she's lost support even with massive funding, in advertising dollars. But, I mean, right now she's doing okay, but I think her trend's not looking good poll-wise. She's going on the decline. So Bernie Sanders of Vermont, I feel like he's actually higher than this, but I mean, it's almost like a three-way tie, kind of at the top. But yeah, he's at like he's considered the top rival of Biden, and 47% think Sanders would beat Trump in the general election. Sanders is supported by 20% of Democrats. Yeah, I feel like the corporate media is trying to push like Warren way more because she's like the more corporate version. She's like a little bit left leaning, but she's still super corporate. So like that's like the corporate, kind of like they're willing to stomach Warren way more than they're willing to stomach Bernie. So I think that's why Business Insider's not pushing up as high. So Joe Biden, I'm actually kind of fascinated. It seems like mainstream media is actually turning on Joe Biden a little bit. They used to push him super heavily, but it's like every time he gives a speech now, he has a gaffe. Like, he really is like the gaffe master. It's like every time, like he was in New Hampshire recently, and he's like, oh yeah, I love this town. I love being in Vermont. Like, he doesn't even know where he is. A lot of people are saying that he's too old. Like, he doesn't, like he's just not thinking straight. And you could see it when he, talks. It really, every appearance is like not a good one, but he has massive name recognition, and he was the vice president, so he has that going for him. But I don't know. I feel like he's just gonna keep making gaffes, and eventually, like, he's run for president multiple times before, and every time he always loses support over time, and that's why he was vice president, not president, right? Because he has a history of not doing well in presidential campaigns. So I don't think he's gonna win, but I mean, he could. Who knows what's gonna happen? So Elizabeth Warren, wasn't expecting her to be first. she's the best. So they're saying she's the best known candidate who has not previously run for president. Not sure where they got that from, but so she is at third place at 15% in Morning Consult poll. So they moved to the first place because Inslee, Gillibrand, and Moulton dropping out will consolidate her support. So that's like 1% total. I mean, I don't even know who Moulton is. Who is that? Who's Inslee? So you're saying these three people that had 0% support are going to join in Warren's support. So that's an additional 0 to 1% support. Like, that's not very much. But yeah, anyways, that's Business Insider's polls. So let's take a look at Real Clear Politics. Because I think it's kind of interesting to see what the actual average poll is. So Biden's at the top at 28.9, Sanders at 17, Warren at 16.5, Harris at 7. Yeah, actually, I think it might be a little bit more interesting to see the history. So Biden was at 40, so he actually is on the decline a bit. Even Sanders has been on the decline. Who's on the rise? Warren. Warren is kind of on the rise, but she's been stabling out. Kamala Harris in orange here. She had a massive spike, but then now she's totally on the decline. Buttigieg is on a slow decline. O'Rourke is on a decline. Yane was at 1%. Now he's like at 2.5%. So Yane's like actually making some of the biggest gains here, along with Warren. Definitely going to be an interesting 2020 election. I actually hope the debates get smaller. The mainstream debates that they have, because it's kind of a ridiculous format to have like 10 people on a debate because no one has time to answer any real questions or talk about anything interesting. So I hope they actually narrow it, even if it's 2 nights. Like, I'd rather have 2 nights of 5 people each because they have more time to talk. But yeah, anyways, I guess the field will start to thin out soon. But yeah, anyways, that's it for this video. If you guys like this video, be sure to give a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching. Bye.